Hello gamers, welcome to Zulu's Board Game Cafe, and I'm in here somewhere. So, on August 6th, will mark the release of the next edition of Descent, Legends of the Dark. And we have a copy here right now that's taking up almost my entire camera frame. And we're going to go through it and take a look at what all's in this box, because this is very cool looking, and I am very excited to get into this. Descent, if you're not familiar with any of its previous editions, Descent is a dungeon crawling adventure game. It's kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons simulator where one person takes on the role of the narrator, dungeon master, and the rest of the group takes on the role of heroes, adventuring through the various dungeons presented in the scenarios. They are dungeon tiles, all sorts of fun stuff. I've only ever played previous editions. I know nothing about this one, so we're going to crack this open and see what's inside. I'm very excited. Alright. So the first thing we're going to take a look at, of course, is the box itself. It is an actual cube of a box, which is uncommon for large board games. And it is one of the larger board game boxes out there. It's not quite as heavy as a Twilight Imperium or a Gloomhaven. Still, a whole lot of stuff going on in here. So let's put it up here so we can display everything and start taking a look. Alright, there's the cover. That right over there. On top we have the lore guide. So this means if you are entrenched in the lore and want to play it as more of a story type game, that's available to you. Next up is our quest has just begun. Information about the realms of Terranoth. That's where we continue our adventures. See, an assembly guide, because we have 3D terrain here, and some dials and things that connect to the bottom of the miniatures. There you can see, so that's probably going to be something about our hit point stats. Reminds me of X-Wing dials, movement terrain. Those. And here is the big meaty rule book. 32 pages, very large amount of data, but that's great for a game like this. You want there to be information. Again, a little bit less than some of the bigger ones like TI and Gloomhaven, but a fantastic amount now. Plastic. First way, I want to make sure I get this facing the correct way up. It's the first round of miniatures. This looks like, whoops, it's falling down. It's eating up my whole zone. Alright, this looks like we have various bad guys. It takes them out for you to take a closer look at. Kind of ghoul, wraith type creature. So we can focus in on it there. Very nice. We've also got some dogs there on the side, and some large archers, and some sort of crazy chain necromancer there on the bottom. Whole array of minis. Really cool. Alright. Next is the long skinny piece. Some sort of winged demon creature there that all looks like pieces to assemble one massive demon. Is the next tray of minis. Alright, so a series more minis, including the gray ones. These look like they're going to be our player character heroes. Start with the one that looks traditional hero. Here we have, looks like a straightforward dwarf warrior, hammer and shield, doing the good stuff. And next we're going to go to the opposite end of the scale and take out the weirdest looking one, which looks like it's going to be this. I just want to show it to you before I even describe it. Some sort of dragon goat man. I have no idea what's going on here, but I know I want to be this character playing this game, and if nothing else, I want to make a D&D character based on this model. Because I love Nipsey miniatures, and these are some really, really high detail miniatures. I've opened a lot of board game minis, And these are up there. These are on par with miniatures for games like Nemesis or some of the nicer 40K models that are out there. So really high detail, especially for ones that you don't have to assemble, which I love. Okay. Those all go back there. What's next in this? Just get way down in there. All right, next up is our tiles. Oofed. So this looks like all of our tiles and terrain. Quite a lot going on there, you can see. And here's the other side, and you can, I don't know if you can see very well through the plastic wrapper and the glare, but there are some 3D tile components here. So this game, you're actually going to build an entire set of terrain, in addition to these beautiful minis, these great well-detailed tiles, and 3D terrain. So this is an entire, like, ready-to-go built adventure here in this box. So, is our bag of dice in Fantasy Flight tradition. It is 6s, 8s, and 12s, all with funky symbols on them and not numbers. I brought up those X-Wing dials, also a Fantasy Flight thing. And these are the exact plastic plugs for assembling those dials, so those are going to go very, very similarly. That's going to be good fun. Alright, next up I have this bag of cards here. Looks like some sort of action card, says Rallying Cry on the front. Sounds like a fighter ability from some other fantasy dungeon delving game. Oh, this looks like some items. Here I have Rune of Blades, a mutation potion. Except, oh, this looks like the character cards. It says Bryn on the front. This looks like it resembles this one here. This must be Bryn with this really epic hat. That is something. Hopefully she has some sort of helicopter power that lets her fly around. That's fun. So there's not a lot in here, so we'll pop this one open. Take a closer look. Hopefully learn all the characters' names. Get a good look at their art. So that was Bryn. Here, Bryn. Next up is Varix. Oh, this is fantastic. This is one I was looking at. This is our dragon friend with the staff, the big horns. That is so cool looking. Oh, next. I didn't even see the miniature for this. Oh, there it is. They're adorable. This is Chance, and they are some sort of kitty cat Hyrix. Hyrynx, perhaps pronounced like Sphinx because they're a cat critter with giant murder claws. Goodness. We'll just probably do all the minis for the player characters because they are great. And then what I'll probably do is just get images of them and put them up in the corner. There's Cirrus, a fire mage of some variety. The human prodigy, a pyromancer prodigy, more like it. There are many. Also, quite impressive, giant flaming bird coming up out of the ground, going for them. Jeez. I would consider buying this just to get these minis to make D&D characters off of, even if I have no interest in playing the game. I do have interest in playing the game. Like, this new art excites me. Saw that dwarf, apparently their name is Kelly? And then we're going to come back around to a more traditional, another trope character, Galadin. It's up to you how you pronounce it. The elf huntsman is an archer, and that art makes them look very gaunt. And I guess the miniature makes them look very gaunt as well. But you can look very gaunt and still look incredibly imposing in that forward stance with the bow knocked and ready to go. With the actual bowstring, it's not very often you actually see a good, well-drawn bowstring on a miniature. So that is very impressive. And it looks like the rest of that bag was just environmental tiles for lava, water, cave surface, and whatnot. So we'll go ahead and just box all that right back up as we move on. Not a whole lot left in the box. It actually looks a little bit shallower than I thought. Let's see, we have some plastic bases in here. Not sure what that's for. Some sleeves. We know what sleeves are for. We love sleeves. And another bag of items. Some more exotic sounding items. Dusk plate on this side. And on the other side is something called a mud potion. Whatever that's for. You drink it out of a spiral shell. So, it's exciting. That's it for the top of the box. Oh, but wait. It's a segmented box. So, there's a bottom part of the box that it's empty. But what this is going to be for is once we've got all of our 3D terrain assembled and ready to go, we'll be able to store it efficiently in the box so that we're not going to have to break down and reassemble all of the terrain every time we play. So that's actually a really cool bonus feature. It makes setup and breakdown easy because with big board games like this, that's one of the biggest barriers sometimes, is not only do the games themselves take 92 to 3, 4, 5 hours to play based on what you're playing, but the setup time can be an additional 1 to 2 hours. So if you're not ready to budget that much time, it's hard to do these, but if something like that means you have less setup time, that's really great. And it looks like that's everything in here. So thanks for hanging out while I take apart this box, and we'll be real excited to start selling this to folks. It comes out on August 6th. It'll be available here at Zulu's Board Game Cafe, as well as on our website at zulusgames.com. For more information and some more Nipsey details about it, don't remember to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those great places. I'm MC Squared, and thanks for hanging out with me. Y'all have a great afternoon.